Good afternoon. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News. Keystone opened for the season today, and standing near the front of the line was perpetual runner-up Disco Darren.
I'm number two.
If you've been to an opening day, you know Disco Darren. His helmet, it's a disco ball.
I've been doing opening day and closing day for 30 years now. I just don't get first chair, but I'm still here on opening day and closing day.
He tries to get first chair. He really does. But he's coming from the front range, and no matter how early he arrives, someone else is always there.
The moment they open, a new clock has started to the day they start closing, right? So I got to start getting my days in.
When he's not Disco Darren, he's going incognito at Keystone with family, or he's lapping A Basin, his favorite. Both Keystone and A Basin are now skiing on 18-inch bases, but who got the most from this most recent storm? That would be Keystone, claiming 14 inches. A Basin reported 13 Saturday through Monday. Over at Loveland, opening day is getting closer. Photos and comments on their Facebook page hint at opening day by this week or next week. There have been 11 avalanches reported already this young season to the CAIC, but there's a story behind that number. Most were observed from afar by forecasters just now making their rounds. No one was caught. Today from I-70, you can see one on the west side of the 10-mile range and the southeast face of Red Peak. These early slides tend to share two qualities. They are relatively small and they're isolated, where snow from this past weekend's storm triggered old rotten snow from mid-October. Danger today in Summit is split. It is low to the east like Loveland Pass, but moderate near and above treeline out west, as far as Vail, Aspen, and Crested Butte, where this latest storm brought 2 feet to some pockets. Affordable housing is tough in Summit County. Transitional housing is nearly non-existent.
Transition means exiting the criminal justice system. They're facing a loss of housing through familial situation or if they have a job loss.
That was interim county manager Dave Rossi, and he's got a name for these situations.
Destabilizing events.
Now, the county wants a study to understand who needs transitional housing, where they come from, and how to fill the gaps.
Those things are very typical of a big city, and Summit County started to kind of have some bigger city problems where we didn't have a number of years ago.
The county selects a firm in coming weeks for a transitional housing study in coming months. Results from that study and solutions might not be ready until this time next year at the earliest. This week on the State of Summit.
They are not living in teepees and riding horses, same as I'm not in a log cabin wearing a, bonnet.
That was Nina Gabbianelli with Aspen Historical Society, dispelling myths about Colorado's mountain tribes.
Their history is all storytelling, oral history, so it's an interesting historical perspective, but we also don't want to just continue to talk about Native people in buckskin clothing, wearing, headdresses and dancing at a powwow.
Gabbianelli comes to CMC Breckenridge tomorrow for a presentation with Skylar Lonaheftiwa, the only full-time living Ute in Pitkin County.
This program was born out of just a need to really represent the Native story because we don't have a Native presence in our community today.
Gabbianelli shares stories from Ute past. Lonaheftiwa shares stories of Ute present.
The Native people are very much alive and well, and the culture is still a part of today's world. It's just not something that we see on a daily basis.
Tomorrow's event is hosted by Summit Historical Society. $10 starting 2 p.m. at CMC Breck. Tune in again next week for the State of Summit on Krystal 93. In sports, the Nuggets play the Timberwolves tonight at 6. The Avalanche play the Blues at 7:30 on TNT. Phil Lindemann, Krystal 93 News.